Hello my beautiful people, welcome to your first ever set of numerology videos with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. As many of you know, I do weekly tarot readings, monthly tarot readings. I also do a numerology live stream each month as well to set you up for the month ahead. Many of you know me from the Life Path series that I put out, which I cannot thank you all enough. Like I'm still actually completely blown away at how popular it's been, how many view counts they have. It's still really strange to me because when I was doing it, I was just doing it as a labor of love. And I've learned so much more since then as well. So don't forget, if you haven't seen it, there is a video that will show you how to calculate your life path number. That will be floating around up here somewhere. There's also a video to help you calculate your personal year number, which is a very important vibration for you to know. So there's also a video for you to find out how to do that as well. Be sure to check those out so that you can really get into these videos and use this information for the best for your, your path ahead for the month. So with that said, if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. If you are a continued subby of mine, you know I absolutely love you, and thank you so much for being a part of the Radiant Reality community. So we get into it. August 2021 is a universal 4-month, right? So some of you are probably like, if you know numerology at least a little bit, some of you are probably like, oh my gosh, here we go. For all of you, you will probably remember, for those of you that have been with me long enough, you will remember the numerology video that I put out at the start of 2020, which was a true 4-year. Lots of people postulate it being a 22. It wasn't a 22 year. I can assure you it was a 4-year. I'm not going to debate that. That's the way that I experience it. That's the way that I feel it was with what I know of numerology. So we're going to get straight into it. So what is 4? I got my trusty notes here. Always got notes. You guys know me by now. So 4 is a slow energy. It's slow, grounded, and determined. It's a number of structure. It's a number of order. And so this month really asks us all to be, or invites us all to work inside the parameters of what we know, of what we understand, what we can do really well. 4 is grounded and practical, and it's structured. This is the order, the energy of order. 4 is all about the manifest world. It's about the tangible, the physical, it's about the material. It's a very slow moving energy. So this month, I mean, which, you know, considering it's Leo season, isn't necessarily a bad thing. One of the things that I really like about this actually is it will allow us to enjoy the summer. It will allow us to just really experience the best of what we can. Providing we don't swim against the tide or try to fight the energy. That's the thing with 4 energy. If you try to force something, it will push back. And as we've already all seen, right, the universal energy is bigger than we are. Now, that being said, I've got here, this can be an amazing month to see results, but can also be a month that requires you to stand firm on what you have promised to deliver. So this is kind of the long and short of it, right? The number 4 is very linked to the energy of integrity, honesty. So whatever you promise you're going to do this month, you're going to have to show up for it. This is why in the month of August, you want to under promise and over deliver. If you do it the other way around, you will be held accountable. 4 and 6 energy tend to be very much like that. Like, you can't get away with throwing a comment out, oh yeah, you know, I'll totally be there and I'll do that. Like, it will hold you accountable. So if you say you're going to do something, be prepared to show up in that way. If you do show up in the way that you say you're going to, the rewards and the blessings can be absolutely wonderful, which is great. Now, 4 energy, I've got to be really honest with you, it doesn't fuck around. So like I said, you've got to be in your integrity, you've got to stand tall, you've got to be honest, you've got to be open about what is possible, what you're prepared to do, what you're prepared to give, and you need to follow through on that. What I will say as well, you've got to come up with the goods, right? If you're planning to do something this month, a solid plan, being organized, those things are going to be paramount for you this month if you really want to get ahead. One of the things that I will say about this energy as well, you got to come up with the goods. If you're planning to cut corners, if you're planning to try to pull the wool over somebody's eyes, or, you know, wing it here and there, it will catch you. And trust me, when 4 energy catches you out, it's usually quite public. So, or at least for you know, for somebody to witness. So if you don't want that experience, you'll have to forgive me, I'm currently melting. It's so hot here in the UK. But hey, I ain't complaining. We've got sunshine. It's good, right? But it will catch you out. So what I've said to everybody is, grab yourself by the boobs or grab yourself by the balls and get on with it. You've got to dig in, you've got to dig deep, and you've got to be prepared to work. That is what this month is asking you to do. It's a powerful energy for getting ahead, absolutely. It can be a month where you can build a very solid foundation for whatever dreams, goals, hopes, wishes you have going forward. So the energy of the number 4, if you've been with me long enough, you'll know I will have said this to you. It can literally be a box where you, like, that holds you prisoner or holds you captive, and it's usually a box of your own making, or it can be a step or a platform to get you to where you want to be next, right? So use that to your best advantage. Now that you have that information, plan accordingly. What the characteristics of this energy are direct, focused, and linear. When you think about a square, it's, you know, it's lines, right? It's straight lines. It is clear. It's defined. It doesn't have, you know, there's nothing wishy-washy. 4 energy is you are either in or you are out. There's no room for, there's room for negotiation based on plans. Absolutely. Based on organization, yes, absolutely. But if you're hoping to wing it, you know, just chuck it in there and see how it goes, no. It's practical, realistic, and grounded, right? So all of these things are buzzwords this month. And if you're the sort of person that's usually like, yeah, you know, I'll just see how it goes, you might struggle this month, especially because the external world is going to demand more specificity from you. All right, so it's determined, disciplined, and dedicated. And it's interesting that those words come up with the 4 energy, because the letter D corresponds to the number 4. So, right, it makes sense. Discipline, determination, you know, dedication, all of these things. It's also a number that provides the energy of drudgery, honesty, and integrity. There's nowhere to hide with a number 4. It's just like a square, right? You know, if one line is kind of bowed or a little bit out, or, you know, goes off at an angle, it's no longer a square. That's why when you think about the energy of the number 4, it's precise. You know, it's precise, it's specific. And this month you have to be those things with yourself and with any of your endeavors. So the questions that you need to ask yourself: are your plans solid? Are you organized? Do you know where everything goes, where it belongs? Do you have a good idea of what the end goal or result actually looks like for you? Do they have weight, or are they pie in the sky? And this vibration is going to highlight that to you this month. So basically buckle up. It's not a bad month. There's no such thing as that kind of energy. It's not whether it's good or bad. It's about how you utilize it and how you internalize and then externalize that information or that energy. So yes, it's going to depend on your life path number, how you approach this. It will depend on your upbringing, your growth, your mindset. It's going to depend on your astrology. It's going to depend on all of these things. But when you think about each one of these systems, tarot, astrology, numerology, you know, energy work, like, they're all slices of what make up the whole you. And so each one of these pieces of information that I give you is giving you a different insight into how things are going to affect you specifically. All right, so with that said, let's get into your personal life path messages. Take care, and I'll see you in a moment. Hello, you beautiful life path 3 person you. Welcome to So let's get straight into it. All right, because this month is a 4 month, 4 is the energy that comes after you. And given that each number is kind of like a response or a reaction to the energy that came before it, yours is the number of fun and excitement and joy and passion and wonder and beauty. It's the social butterfly, right? Communicate. Hello, you wonderful Life Path 3 person. Welcome to. So this month is an energy that's not only are you somewhat at odds with this energy, but you find 4 quite difficult to deal with. 3 is light-hearted, it's fun, it's energetic, it's passionate and vibrant, creative, self-expressionate, or self-expressive, let's say. It's fun and free. It's all about, frolicking and frivolity even. Whereas 4 energy is a lot more grounded, practical. It brings the focus in. It demands more attention, more focus, more discipline. And so this energy is quite slow for you, and you might find this month a little bit frustrating in that regard, especially if you've got plans that you're trying to push forward. The good news is if you take your time with things, you can actually really make some good headway this month, and roping people into that or to help you in some regard could be a big part of it. So this is more serious than you're used to. 3 energy tends to skim the surface, whereas 4 wants the facts, the tried, the true, and the tested. So this month, if you want to get ahead, keep that in mind. What I will say to you is, when it comes to love, your relationship might come under strain this month, especially because you yourself are not at your best, and you might feel a little bit agitated or a little bit more ratty than usual. You might even feel like you're driving with the brakes on somehow. If that is the case, remember, we tend to take things out on on the person that's closest to us. So your partner might bear the brunt of this. So now that you know this and you've got this understanding, if your partner is a Life Path 3 and they seem to be a bit sort of snappy, you understand why, and you can maybe not take it as personally. And if you are the Life Path 3 person in your relationship, now you know that that is a potential. You can find a way not to give somebody else that experience, right? Another thing that I'll say here is as well, it's not so much that, it's just that you're working with an energy that's not really right for you, and you might feel like you're lacking some of your joie de vivre this month. So if you're meeting someone new or you're trying to meet someone, you might find this a challenge because you feel like you're clapping out of beat, or you're stepping on the wrong number of counts, or there's this sense this month that you're a little bit off-footed. And so when we're off-footed, or when we're out of sorts, or we're not comfortable, we tend to be a bit more, the heckles are up, right? So you might find that this month there's a little bit of that going on. It may be as well that whoever you meet at this time will be more stimulating. There'll be more about mind over matter, right? So if this month, if you meet someone and you're into them, they might demand more of your knowledge. They might be more interested in what's in your brain rather than what's on your body or what your body looks like. And I'm not saying that you guys are superficial. I'm just saying that you tend to look good, you tend to dress well, you tend to speak well, you come across really eloquent. But this month, if you're looking for a partner, they want more from you than just how you look and how you come across. You need to be able to back that up with some real substance this month. This could also, as well, make for a really great connection. If you meet someone like that, it could make for a really great connection later on when you do get your mojo back, right? So keep that in mind. Don't just see it as like, oh my gosh, I'm out of sorts and that's it, I'm coming across as a complete moron, because you're not. All right, so money for your finances this month might also be an area of exasperation. The reason I say that is because 4 is grounded, practical. It saves for a rainy day. It is, am I paying too much for my broadband? Am I paying too much for my car bill? like all of that stuff. It's going to see you really paying attention to that. 3 is a great manifester, and so they tend to be a bit more frivolous when it comes to money. They tend to be a bit spendthrift, I have to say. I was born on the 3rd. I'm not a life path 3, but I was born on the 3rd, and I can tell you, me and money, we good friends. Anyone with a prominent 3 energy knows how to spend money, but they just as easily know how to make it. But this month is asking you to be aware and to be practical and to ask yourself, do I actually need this, or am I just buying it because it's a desire? Buyer's remorse is going to be a big energy floating around this month, so don't buy what you don't need. And if you're buying something, ask yourself why it has to be the best. Is it just pretty, or is it actually fit for purpose? The other thing with this as well, could be a month of less fun. 4 is not necessarily, and you know, apologies to the number 4, but it's not the sexiest of energies unless you find spreadsheets and deep math and you know, stonework. Well, I mean, architecture can be beautiful, but if you find those sorts of things sexy, then this can be a great month. But if you don't, it's really not. You know, it can really help you get ahead financially this month, but providing you do the work and you look at the details rather than skimming over the surface, seeing what you want and spending what you want. You got to be more accountable this month when it comes to your finances. So for work, keeping things lighthearted yet focused is vital this month. Working a little bit harder than usual is going to be demanded of you. You may not get the rewards or the recognition that you're hoping for this month. If you feel a little bit invisible this month as well, like maybe your usual sort of charm and cheer isn't quite hitting the mark, or it's not doing what it usually does, don't be alarmed by that. But this month you're going to have to get ahead more by your merits than you know, your style over substance kind of energy. And that's not to say, like life path 3 people can be incredibly deep when they're connected to something, but until that point, you know, sometimes there is a tendency to keep it light, to skip over the heavy stuff. You don't have that luxury this month. You've got to deal with the facts, you've got to deal with the figures, and people are going to demand more truth from you in some regard. When it comes to recognition, don't strive for that. Strive to do good work and keep your focus on the things that matter. That will help you earn your stripes. And if you consider this month as that, you're earning your stripes, right? And I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, I've already earned my stripes. I'm sure you have, but this month you get to earn more. And if you just keep your head down and do the work this month, stick to the facts and the figures, when your energy comes back and when you're in a different month's vibration, you will have that kind of work street cred where people are like, yeah, you know, I remember that really tough stint that we had where you showed up for us. Consider this like banking for a later, you know, for a later day. So your best steps this month: play the gracious host and community builder. Networking needs to be more of a duty than a party this month. So forge the right connections, reach out to people that you know can help you when it comes to the work and the profession. You know, it's not about being social, it's about getting shit done. Keep that in mind this month. Get ahead of the crowd by planning. Be honest about what you can deliver and what you can't, and manage expectations like a boss. All right, you got to manage expectations. Whether you work for someone else, whether you work for yourself, is irrelevant. Your best steps this, you know, we talked about the best steps. Your warnings this month, things that you need to be aware of. If you try to wing it or be a freeloader, this energy is going to catch you out. If you try to catch corners or influence the group endeavors in a way that is selfish or nefarious, you will be found out. 4 energy doesn't fuck around. It will catch you out every time. It's very harsh when it does as well. A good example of that was 2020, right? Look at how many businesses that were not solid behind the scenes, how many things, people, celebrities, etc., that weren't in their integrity were just wiped out. That's 4 energy in full swing. So now that you know that, adjust accordingly. And I'm, you know, I say that like you're out here raping and pillaging, and I don't mean it like that, but you get my point. You will, if you think you can burn the candle at both ends this month as well, think again. Energy might feel sparse or scarce this month, and so you need to be aware of that. All right, your new moon message is the gate 46 and serendipity. I love this. So the new moon for you life path 3 people is basically saying you stay focused on what you need to do, right? And in the course of those duties, wherever it is that you find yourself, you're likely to discover something wonderful, but you've got to be on your path already, right, for that to find you. Your full moon message is the gate 60 and limits. You will probably feel this energy. So the full moon is going to highlight to you where some things are set for you and not necessarily by you, and it might feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort gives way when you just get on with it. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments, how did you love it? Did you love it? What does this say to you? Take care, and I'll see you soon.